that's why fat people deserve representation and to know that they're worthy and loved. Thank you. No they don't. Excuse me? We shouldn't be promoting obesity. It's not healthy. Interesting. Did you know that fat people have always existed? What? Yeah, there always have been and always will be fat people. It sounds like you just want everyone to be thin. I mean, no, but everyone should be healthy. Okay, so what about people with asthma? Or people with IBS, cystic fibrosis, rheumatoid arthritis, or any other chronic illness? I don't understand. You want people to be healthy, but the fact is people with chronic illness will not ever be healthy. Well, I didn't mean them. No, you meant that you think that all fat people are unhealthy and that they don't care about themselves and that they're lazy. And that any health issues they face, they brought on themselves. When in reality, health is about so much more than just body size. And some fat people can be healthy, but even if they're not, they are still worthy and deserving of love, respect, kindness, and representation, regardless of their health status. Right? But health. One day randomly having the urge to stop being ugly. Hashtag weight loss. 1.1 million likes. All it is just calling fat people ugly. Like,
that's kind of annoying. Oh, I agree. Yeah.
You don't like Lizzo?
I don't know. Yeah.
The sun is so bright. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Lizzo, but I will be damned if a group of thin women hate on her. I will go to war against that. Why is she annoying?
I hate skinny people, especially this bitch. I'm with my best friend Gome.
Hi guys.
And today we're going to be talking about fat people being friends with skinny people. To preface, we've been best friends for 10 years.
And throughout those 10 years, I've been skinny.
And I've been fat, so we know what we're talking about. So Gome, what is one thing you should never say in general, but especially in front of your fat friend?
I think the first one that comes to mind is when people say, I look so fat and ugly in this photo.
Because friendship between people of different sizes is all about what?
Self-awareness. Friendship is about understanding that you two are different sizes and have very different experiences in the world.
Exactly.
Here's another thing to be self-aware about.
When you go shopping with your plus-size friends at the mall and they're not trying anything on, don't say this.
Why aren't you trying anything on?
Do you not like anything at the store?
That's not very flattering on you.
If your fat friend isn't trying anything on, chances are the store probably doesn't carry their size. And fuck the word flattering. And now, Gome, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
If we went to the club and I wasn't let in because of my size, how are you responding?
In that situation, there'd be no other option than we'd all be leaving. But before, I'd probably kiss out the bouncer. And we'd probably get Taco Bell on the way home and watch movies in bed.
Facts. If your skinny friends choose to stay at the club without you, you're better off without them.
And one thing you should never do
is judge or comment on what someone else eats. Some phrases to avoid are,
are you sure you want to eat that?
I could never eat that. I'm on a diet.
You're really gonna finish that entire thing?
Regardless of the person, you should never comment on what they're consuming. At the end of the day, your friends will come in all shapes and sizes.
So being self-aware of that is key.
The most important thing is loving your friends no matter what size they are. Guys, that was all lie. She hates skinny people.
just want to say that if you're a fat person, you are not a failed thin person. You are not there's not a thin person inside of you that's dying to come out. Nobody owes anybody health. There are people in this world that will never be able to fit the westernized standards and values of health. Ever. No matter what they do, no matter how many vegetables they eat, no matter how many pounds they lose, no matter how many hot girl walks they take, they might never, ever, 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 ever be able to present you a clean bill of health. And those people still deserve to exist without harm. They still deserve care. They still deserve empathy. They still deserve respect. And they don't deserve anybody questioning their health or their ability to be alive. In addition to that, fat people don't owe you shit. They don't. And they will never owe you shit. Fat people don't even owe other members of their community shit. Okay, so let's just work on being critically conscious. And to every fat person out here who is being critically conscious, I love you. Take care.
Let's talk about the formerly fat character trope, aka the flashback fatty. Hi, my name is Abby, and I'm the host of the podcast More Than Tracy Turnblad. I'm a plus-size actor, and I happen to be doing my solo show about it on Wednesday. Probably the most common examples of this trope are Fat Schmidt and Fat Monica from New Girl and Friends, respectively. And with both of these characters, we see their fat selves completely just treated as jokes, but also bullied in horrifying ways. In fact, if an actual fat person were being bullied that much, I think even in the 90s or whenever, I really think that it would be treated as a tragedy and not a sitcom. But since we know the character is in a fat suit, that's the humor, and we'll let anything slide. Both Fat Schmidt and Fat Monica are food obsessed and rarely think or talk about anything else. They're also portrayed as very dumb and very naive. And yeah, they are younger versions, but I don't think it's a coincidence. Something that I do think is probably true to life is that the older versions of Schmidt and Monica are defined very much in opposition to their former fat selves. And so they look at their past selves as almost completely separate people who, if they're not careful, they might turn back into. So much so that the current characters feel just completely different people from their previous fat selves, which I think is how a lot of formerly fat people see their past self. Which makes sense because the characterizations we see of fatness in fat people are so stereotypical and narrow that they just don't even can't coalesce with a whole character or person. When we're thinking only in tropes, obviously a fat trope is going to be different than a not fat trope. Even if the not fat character's trope is supposedly a result of their prior fatness. I think that depicting characters this way does so much fucking damage because when we are separating the prior self from the current self, we are encouraging people not to see fat people as people. Obviously, the person who is not in the current timeline is going to be viewed as a little bit less of a person. And obviously, the person in the fat suit is going to be viewed as less of a real person. And obviously, the person whose entire character is just tired stereotypes is gonna feel like a two-dimensional caricature cutout. And that makes everybody see fat people in that way, especially because there's so little representation besides that. I talk a lot more about Fat Monica in my solo show, so if you're in New York, come to Good Judy in Brooklyn at 8 o'clock on Wednesday if you want to hear more.